top of this simulation page, the next topic we're going to talk about is another application of wave interference. It's called beats. It's a musical phenomenon technically, but really it's just waves interacting, interfering with each other. You can read what it says there, but I'll talk a little bit about it. You can see two wave patterns, a red one and a blue one on your screen. And if you look carefully at them, even though they're moving, which can be a little hypnotic, you can see that they are not exactly the same frequency. They look pretty similar, but if you try to match up a wave crest and trough that match, you'll see that very shortly, if you keep going along, they no longer match. And then a crest matches with a crest, and then a crest matches with a trough, and what you'll notice down here in this pink area or purple area is the combination of the two. So these are the two waves interacting together. And you'll notice where crests and crests match up, you get constructive interference. And where crests and troughs match up, you get destructive interference. So if you keep looking at that, you'll see the alternating constructive crest and a crest in here makes constructive down here. And then in here, you can see crests and troughs meeting, which makes destructive interference. Now, if these are transverse waves, like you can see on the screen, it looks pretty. But if those are sound waves, longitudinal sound waves, what happens when you get the constructive interference is you get a loud sound. And then when you get the destructive interference is you get a quieter or even no sound. And you get this alternating loud, soft, loud, and then here comes another soft, right? Soft. You get this alternating loud, soft pattern. And what we call that in physics and or in music is beats. And these beats, this loud, soft pattern has to do with the alternating constructive and destructive interference of two sound waves that are very close to each other, but just a little bit apart. So that's a visual example of what it looks like. Now, what it sounds like when you have these can be demonstrated here. Now, I hope you can see this. Hear this. If you can't, please email me and let me know. I can hear it, and I'm assuming the microphone is picking up the sound for you as well. So if I play two notes of the same frequency, you can see I've entered 440 and 440. You can go ahead and work with this and mess around with it and do any frequencies you want. I found that if you get too low, it's really hard to hear. But 440 seems to work. If I play both of those at the same time and you listen, what you probably heard there was indistinguishable from a single tone because they were the same frequency. So there was no alternating loud soft. The two frequencies were exactly the same. The crests were always matching up with the crests. The troughs were always matching up with the troughs. You just heard a constant tone, and I'll play it again. All right, but if even one of those frequencies is a little bit off, and I'll change it to 441 hertz, listen to the difference it makes. All right, now some of you are thinking, Mr. Morgan, that wasn't different. Some of you, if you have perfect pitch, were like, wow, that's really different. But what I hope you heard was the alternating loud soft. Now, let me increase the difference in frequency a little bit, and I think you'll hear it more distinctly. Listen up. Can you hear that in, out, loud, soft, loud, soft? All right, I'll stop it again, and we'll go to 444. Now you should really be able to hear it, okay? I'll stop it because I know for some of you that's really annoying. But here's another really cool thing about this. There's a thing called the beat frequency, and you can see that up here. And the beat frequency is defined as how many of those loud, soft alternates you hear every second. And the way you calculate it is you simply take the difference of the two frequencies, just like it says in this equation. So if you subtract 440 from 444, you get -4. You take the absolute value of that. You can see from the equation, it really doesn't matter whether it's positive or negative. What that means is that you're going to hear 4 beats per second. I'm going to play it again. and see if you can count 4 beats per second. Let me give you a suggestion. Let it go for 5 seconds on your timer on your phone and see if you can count 20 beats. Okay, I'll play it for a little more than 5 seconds so you can get that long. All right, are you ready? Here we go. Okay, I played it for about 7 seconds, and hopefully you were able to count close to 28 beats. Okay, again, it's hard. Now, just a couple more things. I want to show you what happens when beats become a phenomenon called dissonance, right? When the beats are happening so frequently, when the beat frequency gets so high that you can't really hear beats anymore, your ear has a hard time distinguishing the beats and it just makes it sound really bad. And we call that dissonance. So I'm going to go from 444 to 454. Listen now. Okay. You see there? You could still kind of hear the beats, but it was just like, ew. All right. I'm going to go up to 464 and we'll see what it sounds like. Okay. Really, really bad. Now, what is the purpose of this? What is the use for this? Well, those of you who are in music can probably tell, hey, would that be a way that you could tell if two tones are in tune with each other? And absolutely. People who play the guitar, people who play the violin, any stringed instrument, especially if you use an automatic tuner, you can use this tool to tune your guitar or your violin or your cello or whatever the stringed instrument is. You can use this tool, and the idea is you want to adjust the tuning on one of the strings until they are both playing the same frequency. And you'll know that when you hear the beats disappear. So, this concept of beats can be used either electronically or by ear, if you have a really good ear, to get rid of the beats. And then you know that you have two strings that are playing the same two frequencies. And then you know your instrument isn't. So, that is a useful tool. Now, if you start to get really far apart, okay, like 520. Then you can start to get into an area of music called consonants, where the two notes are certainly not the same as each other, but they sound good together. We're talking about a musical third or a musical fourth or a perfect fifth or something like that. Certainly, if you went up an octave, I'll go to 880 because if you double it, you get an octave. Okay, those are the same note, A. 440 is concert A, so 880 is an octave above that. Those are the same note, and they actually sound pretty good together because two notes that are an octave apart are certainly consonant with each other. All right, so those are some examples, both video example up here at the top of the page and audio examples and some of the terms we're talking about. Please be sure to read section 9 of chapter 14. Take some good notes. And feel free to mess around with the simulation as much as you want. And you can watch this video again if you like. Take care.